So, hello world. My name's Amelia, and it's been about a little over a week now since I've uploaded. So I'm back. I had a couple videos that I had recorded and never finished editing. I'm sorry about that. There was one I wanted to do. I had taken a seasonal job working for Target, and there was one that I really badly wanted to do, that talking about my experiences, because boy howdy, I have a lot that I didn't expect to encounter. So I'm going to do a video very quickly. This was, it's been several days already, but I need to get off my chest that I had gotten some bad news roughly about a week ago. It was Sunday. The following last Sunday around 7 p.m. I had gotten the unfortunate news to find out that my paternal grandmother had passed away. It's been really hard for me to process and cope with this, mainly because while I knew that this was I'm in my late 30s, and I know, shocker, all four of my grandparents were still alive. And given the circumstances of me coming out and not being, unfortunately, accepted by my extended family, let alone my immediate family, the only acceptance I have found in my family is with some cousins. But other than that, I've basically been outcast. And the sad thing is, I haven't seen my grandparents in many years. I found out that she had passed away around 7 p.m. on Sunday. Apparently on New Year's Day, she had a fall and fell flat on her face. She went to the hospital. Sadly, her nose kept bleeding. They couldn't get it to stop. Eventually, they had impacted it to stop it. Took her home, and then several days later, she woke up and couldn't recall anybody. She couldn't recall anybody's names or anything like that, and I guess then, not long after that, she had passed away. And you know, being that it turned out after she had gone back she went back to the hospital, by the way, and they think that what happened is she had a brain bleed. Well, the sad thing is that, like, me working in healthcare, I think about this, I'm like, couldn't this have been detected? Like, there's ways of finding this stuff, especially when you have I don't know, I think she was in her 80s, fall flat on her face, you know, it shouldn't be that hard. But what makes this even all the more difficult for me to handle in my mind is the fact that she was one out of all four of my grandparents who did not know about me coming out. She never got told. She was never given the opportunity to respond. I mean, I knowing her, I know that she probably wouldn't have responded any better than my grandpa, even any of my three grandparents. But it is still very sad that she's the only person in my family who never knew. And I have very strong Christian upbringing and beliefs that I've mentioned before, and I do very much believe that she knows now. I also believe in eternity, that she's a completely different person. I don't believe that. I would say it almost like when you die and you go into eternity, basically your eyes are opened and all the bigotry and other stuff just kind of melts away. So I'm sure she knows now, and she very much wishes she could have had another chance. That's what I like to believe. Point being, I've been having a very hard time processing. Mainly just... Mainly, I still fear. I have a fear greatly. I have one of my grandparents, one of my 4, is like the top, my favorite. I mean, he's everybody's favorite, but I have that fear in my mind of the day that he finally passes, and just how I feel scared to lose somebody I haven't even gotten to see for years, and mainly just because I haven't been given the opportunity. Last time I saw him, for example, I pulled up and it was just kind of passing through. I didn't have a whole lot of time. Pulled up in the car, tried to get his attention, and he basically just ignored me. I don't think it was intentional. I think he just didn't know who I was. Kind of not surprising. I was completely dressed different and everything like that. I remember him making a comment, "Oh, I think that's just some so-and-so, friend of so-and-so." That's what I heard him say from the distance. But I didn't have time to get out and actually... As far as my grandma goes, she's going to be missed. I know my grandpa's having a hard time with it. My dad went down to Florida to help with planning, I don't even know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're planning on a funeral or anything. And that's the other thing, as far as questions go, with all 4 of my grandparents. Am I going to have an opportunity to see any of them? Let alone see them alive, but am I going to have the opportunity to attend any of their funerals? You know, I remember even my dad making a comment to me about, apparently he had asked my grandpa about, "Oh, would it bother you, the day your funeral comes and Amelia was there?" Of course, not using my name, my preferred name. And that's... I don't know, things are so to be seen. I don't want to dig in too deep because I've been very, very much trying to process, and I have a hard time processing things. I've been very kind of cold about this. Even my fiance going as far as saying that he's worried about me. I don't know how to process this. I mean, my fiance suggested that I should almost practice, do a rehearsal, introducing myself to my grandma in my head. But anyways, I just want to leave this video here. I don't really have a whole lot to say. I mean, this is generally how long my videos should be. So whoever's watching this, hopefully maybe my videos give you some insight in my journey. I'm sure one of these days I've been wanting to do a video on family and stuff like that, but again, it's one of those things where it's just it's a processing aspect and so forth. So, I love your faces. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I got a lot of stuff coming up this year, and I really am hoping to make more videos around some of these things. For example, I got a speech therapist coming up later in January that apparently I got told that I have this cracking in my voice, and I always just thought it was because I was, for whatever reason, I just thought it was something I just had to deal with. Turns out that my vocal cords don't close. So, yeah. That'll be very interesting to see what comes of seeing a speech therapist and if it helps me at all, because I hate my voice. In my head, I sound better than I actually sound played back to myself. And I mean, it's not like that thing where other people... Anyways, I'll leave this here. Have a great day. Bye now.